Hi everybody, I'm going to do a few problems much like the problems that you are seeing in your Unit 3 regarding characteristics of quadratic functions. In this unit you are most likely learning that you can find the axis of symmetry, the vertex, the y-intercept, and begin to be able to sketch a parabola when it's given to you in an equation form. So this first problem I'm going to do is f of x equals -2 times x minus 1 squared minus 5. And my instructions here are to graph the function and label the vertex and axis of symmetry. So I'm going to graph this function without a calculator. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at where my vertex lies. And since this is in my vertex form, I know that h is inside the parentheses and is 1, right? And I know that my k is outside the parentheses, and that's my 5, my -5 actually, because the formula says plus k, like this. And I know that my a is 2, and this is reflected down across the x-axis. So I know it's gonna look something like this, right? And I know that I can guess where that vertex is, or I don't have to guess, I know exactly where it is. It's going to be at 1, -5. So let's go ahead and graph this on here. Oh, I want to move that, so I want to get it on there so it's nice and even on the grid. Okay, so I know that my vertex is at 1, -5. So I'm going to go ahead and graph that. 1 and then down 5. 3, 4, 5. So there's my vertex. I know this vertex is going to go down like this. And the reason why is because of my a being negative. It flips across the y or the x-axis. So it flips down, right, with respect to where the x-axis was. All right, so now it's just a matter of finding my my axis of symmetry. I know where my vertex is, and I can get actual points using the function. So I'm going to do that too as well. So let me get rid of these last little marks that I made so I can get the actual points. Okay, so my formula for the axis of symmetry is x equals -b over 2a, or if I know the vertex, it's the x-coordinate of the vertex. So that means my axis of symmetry is just going to be up right here, like this. Okay? And I know that if I want to find some of the points, I need to find points on either side. So maybe I'll look at x equals 1 and x equals 0, and then maybe I'll look at x equals 2 and x equals -1. So those are the ones I'm going to put into my little table. So x, and then my formula was -2 times x minus 1 squared minus 5, like that, right? Yeah, so now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do, what did I say? 1, 2, and 3, and 0 and -1. So 1, 2, 3, 0, and -1. And those are the points I'm going to put in. So if I put in -2 times 1 minus 1 squared minus 5, that point, according to where I think the vertex is, that should be, all this stuff in my parentheses should go away, which it does. So 1 minus 1 is 0, squared is 0, times -2 is 0, minus 5. So it just gives me -5. And then my next one is negative 2 times 2 minus 1 squared minus 5. And that's going to give me 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. And negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. Then I'm going to do negative 2 times 3 minus 1 squared minus 5. So I'm going to get 3 minus 1 is 2, squared is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 5 is negative 13. And then I'm going to do 0. So negative 2 times 0 minus 1 squared minus 5 is going to be 0 minus 1 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. And then negative 2 times negative 1 minus 1 squared minus 5. Negative 1 minus 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And negative 5 is negative 13. All right, so now I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to plot these points. So 1, negative 5. That's my vertex. 2, negative 7. Right here. And then I have a point that's symmetrical, so that's going to be my 0, negative 7. And then I'm going to do 3, negative 13. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's way down here. And then I'll have the symmetrical version at negative 1. And so here is my parabola. Okay, so we have labeled the vertex and the axis of symmetry, which is x equals 1. And then our vertex was 1, negative 5. And that's how you do that problem.